Walt Disney. I hope we never lose sight of one thing, that it all started with a mouse. You may be wondering what a house pest has got to do with anything, let alone be the beginning of anything. The quote above was by one of the highly referenced American entrepreneurs who was known to be an inventor of highly rated animations in the whole of history, Walt Disney. Walt Disney was born in Chicago on the 5th of December in the year 1901. He was one of the 4 boys his mother had. He had a sister, which makes them 5 children. Walt's father was partly Irish and Canadian, while his mother had origins from both Germany and America. When he changed location to Missouri, Walt took to drawing and painting. Whenever he finished a job, he would sell it to people around him. Afterwards, relocated to Kansas. By this time, Walt was still a young child of about 9. Walt had his high school education in Chicago and majored in drawing and photography. It was at this period that he discovered that he had an interest in trains. Fate took Walt to the railroad, where he began selling snacks and newspapers to those who were around to board the train. During nightfall, he would attend the Art Institute of Chicago, and with this, his passion for art increased. However, Walt's father was never pleased with his son's passion for drawing. He looked for every way possible to dissuade him from pursuing his career in arts. His father was remembered to be overbearing, as he would whip his children when they misbehaved. Roy, who was Walt's elder brother, was the one Walt looked up to. It wasn't long that Roy became Walt's mentor, as he would find comfort in the presence of his brother. A lot of times, Walt became confused as to who his father was, and he couldn't fathom that a father could be so abusive towards his children. It was recorded that Elias, his father, was more harsh and overbearing towards Walt out of all of his children. Reportedly, his mother Flora never did anything about this. The abuse Walt received from his father affected his emotional structure. Living with a father who never showed affection or love, but was constantly ready to beat his children, didn't help Walt psychologically in his teenage years. Elias, Walt's father, would find jobs for him and insist that he took it, while Walt blatantly refused. Both men were the opposite in so many ways, which estranged their relationship even further. In a world where young men looked for the validation and approval of their fathers, it was quite interesting to know that Walt Disney was quite different. Never finding his identity in the dictates of his father, deciding to go all out by himself to become his own man. Walt became a volunteer ambulance driver in World War I, after he changed his birth certificate to show his year of birth as 1900 to be able to enlist in the service. He served as a member of the American Red Cross Ambulance Force in France until 1919. Walt Disney started a job when he turned 18, and this job entailed that he would illustrate commercials. He later became the Disney Brothers Studio alongside Roy, his brother, in California. This was in 1920. In the year 1928, Walt initiated the Mickey Mouse character alongside UB-Rex. This was very successful. This ushered in several productions which we know, watch, and love today. These productions include Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Cinderella, Mary Poppins, and so on. By 1923, Walt Disney relocated to Hollywood with his brother and UB-Rex, who happened to be the one who produced the cartoons for the company. Walt Disney later tied the knots with one of his employees, Lillian Bounds, and both had 2 daughters, one adopted and one which Lillian bore. Walt Disney kept on producing films and recorded huge successes. He opened a school for Walt Disney Animation. His films attracted numerous awards. In December 1939, a new campus for Walt Disney Animation Studios was opened in Burbank, United States. Unfortunately, there was a period in 1941 the company had a major difficulty as the employees went on strike and stopped working. Eventually, many of them resigned. It took the company several years to bounce back. Several years later, ushered in Disneyland theme park. This is a fun site that promised a lot of fun for children and adults in different varieties. This park was a huge tourist attraction which ushered in people from all over the world. In a matter of years, the park had increased in an amazingly surprising turnover. Amidst all of these achievements and successes, Walt was struggling with his health. It was announced that he had cancer of the lung because he was a chain smoker. He had smoked excessively all his life. While on the hospital bed, it was recalled that Walt Disney still had a lot of creative ideas and was never down by his illness mentally. He was still very much active and enthusiastic about the project the company was embarking on at the time. However, he died on the 15th of December. He was 65 years as of the year of his death, 1966. After Walt's death, Roy took full responsibility for the company. He executed the pending Florida project, but unfortunately it wasn't long after that he died as well. The Walt Disney Company currently possesses vacation resorts, theme parks, water parks, hotels, motion picture studios, record labels, cable television networks, and a television network. The majority of Walt Disney projects carry his legacy and blueprints. Even though Walt Disney was referred to as a fun-loving and warm personality behind closed doors, he was a timid man with several insecurities. He was described as a man of principles who didn't settle for less from his employees. Walt is a classic example of one who broke free from any kind of resistance he faced from his background, resolving to still make a mark in his world. Walt didn't have a particular sweet childhood. If for anything, his childhood wasn't a remarkable experience for him. However, he had a mind of excessive creativity, and he wasn't the kind to be pulled down by obstacles in any way. Amidst the rough patches he faced while growing up, he still scaled up the ladder of success and never relented on even his deathbed. Walt's story is an inspiration for anyone who may have come from a not-so-pleasant background, but is willing to harness their talents and skills regardless of the opposition they may face along the way. Now, Walt Disney is a force to reckon with in the world of animation. His business and works till date are used around the world and have helped his country grow economically, making an unforgettable mark around the world, even in his absence. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other interesting videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.